early on with the first couple injuries, I was like, oh, like I need to get back. Like, but I think like my mom texted me like after this last injury, and like they know how hard it's been on me, but my mom was like, you know, you've taken so much time for everybody else, like you have to take time for yourself now. So
nobody expected a simple sit down between Caitlin Clark and Sue Bird to turn into a national mystery. One moment they're talking hoops, the next Caitlin casually drops a response about her injury that had fans choking on their popcorn. Was it a comeback hint, a mind game, or the start of basketball's next great plot twist? Whatever it was, the internet lost its collective mind, and Sue's face said it all. This wasn't just an interview, it was a cliffhanger about something that was never even said out loud. It was a masterclass in saying everything by saying nothing at all.
About something that I cannot believe Caitlin Clark said out loud. Do I believe Caitlin Clark said this? Yeah. Do I believe she's right? Yeah. I cannot believe Caitlin Clark said this out loud. I'm shocked. I am shocked that she said it out loud in the Sue Bird podcast. And she's 100% correct. She's played on a team with Natasha Howard, who, let's be real, gets in the way a lot.
The thing about Caitlin Clark sitting down with Sue Bird is that the internet didn't just watch it, it devoured it. It was like the moment Netflix drops a surprise season of a show you didn't even know was coming, and suddenly your entire timeline is spoilers and theories. Fans clicked play expecting a polite chat, some lighthearted talk about basketball, maybe a cute anecdote about team bonding, but nope. Caitlin Clark showed up with a vibe that screamed, "I will tell you just enough to blow up your group chats and nothing more."
it has given me really good perspective on like what a lot of my teammates and people that I've, you know, teams I've been a part of, like certain people have had to go through. Like I've never been through anything like this. Like, and I think that's probably why it's been so hard, because like I've never really dealt with injury, and that's probably been a challenge in itself, because like when I first like was feeling pain, like I didn't understand it. Like I didn't know. I was like, what, am I just...
And then there's the Sue Bird of it all. She sat there with the look of a woman holding state secrets and loving every second of it. From the jump, Sue gave those subtle, knowing smiles. The ones that say, I've been in this game long enough to know how the sausage is made, but I'm not about to give you the recipe. She didn't need to dominate the conversation. She let Caitlin lead the way, occasionally dropping in a perfectly timed nod or an eyebrow raise like she was sprinkling seasoning on a dish that was already simmering. It was the art of interviewing without ever actually grilling someone.
We have gotten a little bit of an update. A little bit of an update here from Chloe Peterson, who is probably the main journalist involved with the Indiana Fever. And realistically, this is not an ideal scenario for anyone, but it's an update. And look, to say that she doesn't have any extra information is wrong. She 1,000,000% has extra information.
To understand the chaos, you have to go back to the injury itself. Caitlin's answers could win an Olympic medal for vagueness. We learned about her journey, starting with a quadriceps strain that sounded manageable, until it teamed up with a groin injury, like they were forming the Avengers of annoying setbacks. And just when she thought she was in the clear, bam, another groin injury. Apparently, injuries in the WNBA have no chill and run on soap opera rules. Just when you think a villain is gone, they come back with a vengeance in the season finale.
Like the deep three, the logo three, as we know it today, like came when you got to college, got stronger,
sure.
got to college. But you were like, but I always had a step back.
I did always have to step back.
So like, where does
left.
that come from? Like, were you mimicking? Did it just come naturally?
I think it just like kind of came naturally. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put my finger on. Honestly, I grew up like a basketball junkie. So I think like, even if you're not like intentionally like watching and like paying attention,
like osmosis.
Yeah, you're just like absorbing what you're consuming. And I think,
but the physical pain was only half the story. This was her first real stint in injury jail, and you could tell she hated every second of it. Imagine being a competitor wired for constant motion, for the roar of the crowd and the thrill of the deep three, and suddenly being told to just sit still and watch. That's not just rehabilitation, it's a form of psychological torture. It's like asking a Ferrari to take up knitting. Her rehab days sounded like a revolving door of hope and frustration. Some days she was mentally sprinting, feeling like she was one good stretch away from being game ready. Other days, it felt like her body was laughing in her face, saying, "Nice try, but you live here now."
Feel about Caitlin being out? A lot of people are looking forward to you two facing off for the first time.
Yeah, I hope she has a speedy recovery. I think player safety is most important, so making sure you're 100% before you step out on the floor could lead to worse things, so I'm glad she's taking care of her body. But there'll be plenty of matches for the future.
And this is where the story gets even more interesting. How does a superstar cope with being grounded? Disney movies and sports psychology sessions. Caitlin Clark might have just invented the cozy girl athlete aesthetic. You can almost picture it. She's watching Moana for the 10th time, sipping tea, writing affirmations, and somewhere in the corner is a resistance band just waiting to ruin her entire mood. It's a surprisingly humanizing image for an athlete who often seems superhuman on the court. But underneath the cozy exterior was a fierce impatience, a burning desire to get back to the only thing that feels normal.
Organization do, and I'd say it's very much under, kept under wraps what's going on with Caitlin Clark. But let's take a listen right here.
As we start to answer some questions. First question comes from Krista, who asked this, and she follows up, to your knowledge, is Caitlin practicing with the team at all yet? And just in case anybody's listening to this only, Chloe, do you have any updates whatsoever on Caitlin Clark's health status?
The most I know is, what's already been reported in the sense of she's been running up and down full speed.
Here's where the interview got real spicy without ever raising its voice. The pressure. You could feel it radiating through the screen, not just from her team, but from the entire ecosystem orbiting her name. The league doesn't just want her back, they need her back. The fans need their fix of step-back threes and logo shots. The sponsors, well, let's just say merchandise doesn't fly off the shelves quite the same when the star player is on the bench. Caitlin's brand has become its own mini economy, and her absence isn't just a sports story, it's a business headline that makes executives nervous.
Now, 64% of the WNBA is black. All right, Caitlin Clark comes in and is immediately the biggest star in the league. Immediately. And merchandising in every other way. Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical inappropriate conduct.
But the pressure isn't just external. There's a darker, more complicated layer to this saga, the Golden Goose narrative. Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA wasn't just a big deal, it was a seismic event that shifted the entire landscape. And with that shift came resentment. There are people who believe her stardom is unearned, that she is overshadowing deserving black players who have been grinding in the league for years without a fraction of the attention. So when she's injured, it's not just a setback. For some, it's a moment of schadenfreude. It's a complex and sensitive issue, but it's an undeniable part of the pressure cooker she lives in every single day.
People can say what they want, but there's not a player in the WNBA that impacts their team more than Caitlin Clark and has the responsibility that Caitlin Clark has for their team. When we talk about an engine, when we talk about passing, scoring, facilitating, gravity on the basketball court, when we talk about all these different things and all these different patterns, that the way that she plays and the way that she gets her spots and her movement on the court, and she plays the game with a unique rhythm.
Naturally, this cocktail of injury, mystery, and controversy has birthed an entire subculture of speculation that feels like March Madness had a baby with a conspiracy theory subreddit. You've got the she's secretly healthy crowd, the ones tracking her grocery store runs, and cross-referencing the number of steps she takes with projected recovery timelines. If she picks up a gallon of milk without wincing, boom, instant YouTube breakdown video. Then you have the she's done for the season pessimists, who freeze frame her every twitch as proof she won't be back until 2026. These are the people who can turn a simple sneeze into a 3-page press release.
When Paige Becker says she doesn't think that her and Caitlin Clark play alike, she wasn't lying. She was telling the complete truth, because I see it more than ever right now. At first when Paige said this, I was like, she might be hating. But now that I'm actually seeing why she said it, she's just trying to save herself, to make people know that, hey, we are not the same.
And right in the middle of this circus is the Indiana Fever's front office, likely watching the interview on a loop in a dark conference room. They are playing a high-stakes game of chess. Rushing a star player back from injury is the sports equivalent of microwaving a steak. Sure, it's faster, but everyone is going to regret it later. They have to protect their franchise-altering asset, but every game she misses is a loss in ticket sales, in ratings, and in momentum. There's probably a PowerPoint somewhere titled Projected Return Windows based on Sue Bird's eyebrow movements.
Got people that are resentful towards her, but it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level, and they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc.
This intense spotlight even has ripple effects on other players. When Paige Bueckers says she doesn't think she and Caitlyn play alike, she's not just making a technical observation, she's trying to carve out her own identity in a world that wants to frame every great shooter as the next Caitlyn Clark. She's trying to save herself from being consumed by the comparison, making it clear to the world, hey, we are not the same. It's a subtle but powerful reminder of how one person's gravity can bend the entire league around them.
Slow and methodical when she needs to, especially in the half court, especially when she gets off the switch and want to attack the opposing player for as a big man. Like she does little things on the basketball court that you have to really analyze, you have to really watch, you have to really know what you're seeing to really understand how different she is. We have never seen a woman in today's game or in history like Caitlyn Clark. I know people want to say that she's the female version of Steph Curry, but to me, she doesn't even play like Stephen Curry, because Stephen Curry, as great as he is, his best attribute is his shooting, but his second best attribute is his off-ball ability. Caitlyn is a on-ball guard.
But make no mistake, Caitlyn Clark is not wired for quiet returns. When she comes back, it's going to be loud. It will be an event. The first possession she touches the ball, the crowd will go feral. Commentators will have their "she's back" lines rehearsed and ready to deploy. Twitter will likely crash for at least 15 minutes. Sue Bird knows it. She had that little glint in her eye, the one that says, I know exactly how this comeback is going to go, and you're all going to lose your minds. She's seen the hype machine up close, and she knows how to ride it without letting it swallow you whole. And that's the real genius of that interview. It wasn't just about an injury update. It was a lesson in modern superstardom. Sue Bird wasn't just asking questions. She was passing down the unwritten code of how to navigate being both a world-class athlete and a global brand without letting either role break you. And here's the part nobody is ready to admit. People love the mystery. They'll complain on social media about the lack of a firm date, but deep down, they love this limbo because it builds the legend. When the day finally comes, this interview will feel like the pilot episode of a series that ended exactly the way the fans wanted, with the hero walking back onto the court, smiling like she knew the ending all along, which, let's be honest, she probably did.